How do we know it's true?
We don't.
This is not a video about Season 5, nor that disaster of an ending that was Season 5. This is about the end of a specific character. It's about 11. In the final D&D sequence, Mike goes on a whole speech about who everybody is, where they are, and where they're going to go. That being said, he makes some major assumptions about Eleven's end, assuming she escaped alive with a reasonable amount of logic. Although he has reasoning and has come to a logical conclusion based off of what he as a character knows, the audience knows that this is impossible, and if Eleven is somehow alive, this cannot be how she lived. That being said, the far more likely outcome is that Eleven is actually just dead, even if the Duffer Brothers didn't necessarily intend for that to happen. Mike understands how the power suppression waves work, and due to Elle's final goodbye happening in her void, he questions the authenticity of Eleven's sacrifice. In the 18 months between her sacrifice and the final D&D scene, he has come to some conclusions that do make genuine sense due to what he as a character knows. Mike has a surface-level understanding of how Kali's powers work, and he believes it is possible that she could have helped Eleven orchestrate this escape under a completely lampshaded change of heart.
A cleverness only matched by her sister, who, upon hearing the pleads of the paladin, had a change of heart.
The reason I say this is a lampshade is because a large part of Kali's arc this season was trying to get Eleven to, go out with the Upside Down. And this change of heart is extremely out of character, and it's just acknowledged as such. It's just pushed off as, a change of heart, which, honestly, I would consider that to be lampshading in this context. That change of heart aside, Mike believes that a fatally wounded Kali could influence the collective conscious of everyone at the gate from a very, very far away. Although there are a few issues with that, they could be fairly easily ignored, except for the distance. All of this being said, Mike does bring up a fair point. How did Elle cast a spell if under the power suppression? Ultimately, I don't know, but that doesn't mean that Mike does. Assuming that Kali living and carrying out this plan from that distance is significantly more far-fetched than something like the Upside Down Gate interfered with the suppression, or that Eleven got over it in her final moments. I don't like those explanations too much because they're very surface level, and I'm sure a better one could be found, but that's not a question I'm trying to answer. All I'm trying to do is prove that Mike knows just as much as I do, and that's not a lot. When Kali is escaping and only altering the perception of a single person, she loses range as they are leaving the facility and driving away, and we know that distance is a factor that limited her, as can be seen through this dialogue.
You okay? I lost it. We're too far.
It's okay, we're far enough away they're not going to catch up with us now.
What this dialogue tells us is that distance or range is a limiting factor for Kali. Keeping in mind what happened when she was trying to alter a single person's perception from not that far away, it is totally unreasonable that now with a bullet hole in her stomach that she could alter the collective conscious of everyone outside of the gate on the other side of essentially an alternate dimension. With this in mind, Mike's explanation for what happened is simply not possible. But why would the Duffer Brothers do this? Why would they plant this thought in our head if it simply can't be true given on information that we had earlier this season? Well, this season the Duffer Brothers could not commit to any sort of danger, stakes, or consequences. A group of, young adults and children fought God and his greatest soldier in another dimension and came out unscathed. Every time something with real consequence could happen, it didn't. And this supports why they chose to add Mike's theory, to avoid consequence and have a great big Stranger Things dance party at the end. Despite the Duffer Brothers' deliberate inclusion of Mike's theory, I do believe that Eleven is truly dead. This is not a reasonable explanation. And if she is alive, Mike was just not right. It's just not possible.